In the fading light of an Ohio autumn, the Hargrove family pulled their overloaded U-Haul into the driveway of 1427 Willow Creek Lane. Sarah Hargrove, a weary real estate agent turned stay-at-home mom, glanced at her husband, Mike, a burly mechanic from Cleveland with grease-stained hands and a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow. Their two kids, 10-year-old Emma and 7-year-old Tommy, pressed their faces against the minivan's windows, eyes wide at the two-story colonial house that loomed like a forgotten postcard from the 1950s. "Home sweet home," Mike said, forcing a grin as he killed the engine. The neighborhood was the epitome of Midwestern suburbia: manicured lawns, American flags fluttering from porches, and pickup trucks parked like sentinels. But Willow Creek had a hush about it, the kind that swallowed sounds rather than amplified them. No kids on bikes, no barking dogs, just the rustle of leaves skittering across the street like fleeing rats. The house was a steal, bought sight unseen after Mike's promotion at the auto plant. Fixer-upper with character, the listing had promised. Inside, the air hung heavy with the scent of mildew and something sweeter, like overripe apples. The wooden floors creaked underfoot, and dust motes danced in the slanted sunlight filtering through lace curtains yellowed by time. That first night, as the family unpacked pizza boxes and sleeping bags, Emma whispered to Sarah in the kitchen, "Mom, did you hear that? Like breathing." Sarah laughed it off, blaming the wind rattling the loose shutters. But as midnight tolled from the grandfather clock in the hall, a relic left by the previous owners, Sarah lay awake in the master bedroom, staring at the water-stained ceiling. Mike snored beside her, oblivious. Then it came. A soft exhalation, not from the vents, but from the walls themselves. Huff, huff, like lungs expanding in the plaster. By morning, Sarah chalked it up to exhaustion. The kids seemed fine, though Tommy clutched his stuffed eagle tighter than usual, muttering about the man in the closet who smells like barbecue. Mike dove into repairs, hammering nails into the sagging porch while blasting Springsteen from a portable radio. Neighbors waved from afar. A retired couple with a Trump 2024 sign in their yard, a young family with an electric SUV, but no one stopped by with casseroles or welcome baskets. "Folks here keep to themselves," Mike said over lunch. "That's why it's peaceful." Peace shattered on the third night. Emma woke screaming from nightmares of a fire, her pajamas soaked in sweat. "The house was burning, Mom, and there were people screaming, but no mouths." Sarah held her, rocking on the edge of the bed until the girl's sobs ebbed. Downstairs, the clock chimed 2 a.m., the witching hour. That's when the whispers started. Faint at first, like radio static from a distant AM station. Sarah crept to the hallway, barefoot on cold oak, and pressed her ear to the wall behind the staircase. "Burned alive. Locked in. Help us." She jerked back, heart hammering. Imagination, she told herself. The house was old, pipes settling, maybe echoes from the street. But the next day, while the kids napped, Sarah fired up her laptop and Googled the address. Obituaries popped up first. A 1953 house fire in Willow Creek, claiming 8 lives. A family of 5 and 3 farmhands trapped in the basement during a harvest party. The article, yellowed in digital facsimile from the Cleveland Plain dealer, described how the father, drunk on moonshine, had barricaded the door against intruders, only to ignite a lantern that turned the place into an inferno. The whispers, survivors claimed, lingered for months. Ghostly pleas from the charnel pit below. Sarah slammed the laptop shut, bile rising in her throat. Coincidence. But that evening, as Mike grilled burgers in the backyard, red, white, and blue bunting strung up for early 4th of July vibes, the air thickened. Tommy pointed at the cornfield bordering their lot, a golden sea waving under the harvest moon. "Look, Daddy, the scarecrow's waving." Mike chuckled, flipping patties. "Just the wind, bud." But Sarah saw it, a silhouette among the stalks, tall and ragged, one arm lifting in a grotesque salute. Sleep evaded them all that night. The whispers grew bolder, seeping from floorboards like smoke. "Join us. Taste the flames. Family forever." Mike bolted upright at 3:17, swearing he'd heard footsteps in the attic. They huddled in the living room, flashlights cutting yellow beams through the dark. Emma whimpered. "It's them, Mom. The burned ones. They want us to play." Desperate, Sarah dragged the family to the local library the next morning, a squat brick building downtown, smelling of coffee and microfiche. The librarian, Mrs. Hargrove, no relation, thank God, a bespectacled widow with a faded "I voted" sticker on her cardigan, pulled dusty files. "Oh, the Willow Creek fire," she murmured, her voice dropping like a stone in water. "Folks don't talk about it. Said the house was cursed." Whispers drove the next owners mad. One hung himself in the garage, another lit out for California, raving about hellfire. Back home, the sun dipped low, painting the sky blood orange. Mike boarded up the basement door, his hammer strikes echoing like gunshots. "We're selling tomorrow," he growled, sweat beading on his brow. But as dusk fell, the power flickered out. Candles guttered to life, casting shadows that writhed like flames on the walls. Tommy vanished first, gone in a blink while fetching water from the kitchen. They found his sneakers by the basement stairs, the boards pried loose. "Tommy!" Sarah's scream tore the night. Mike yanked the door open, plunging into the black maw below. Flashlight beams danced on soot-blackened stone, revealing rusted chains bolted to the walls and a charred altar of sorts. Bones picked clean, arranged in the shape of a family portrait. Then the whispers erupted, a cacophony of agony. "Burn with us," "American dream," "eternal barbecue." Hands, cold, leathery, smelling of ash and charred meat, clutched at Mike's ankles, dragging him down. Sarah lunged, but Emma's cry froze her. The girl floated midair in the living room, eyes rolled back, mouth gaping in a silent scream as invisible fingers puppeteered her limbs. "Mommy, it hurts. So hot." Sarah grabbed a candlestick, smashing it against the wall until plaster crumbled, revealing a hidden panel. Inside, yellowed letters from 1953. Pleas from the trapped, scrawled in blood and soot. "The Father locked us in for the ritual, to summon the old ones. Land of the free, home of the damned." Flames licked up from the basement, spontaneous, unholy. Mike's bellow cut short in a gurgle. Sarah scooped Emma, bolting for the front door. But the knob burned her palm, the frame sealing like a coffin lid. Outside, neighbors' lights blazed, but no one came. The whispers laughed now, a 4th of July chorus of crackling fireworks and sizzling flesh. As the house consumed itself, Sarah cradled Emma on the stairs, the girl's skin blistering from within. "We're the new family," Emma rasped, her voice a chorus of the dead. "Burn bright, Mom, for the heartland." Sirens wailed too late, distant as freedom's echo. Willow Creek slumbered on, another quiet night in suburbia. And in the morning, the Hargrove house stood smoldering, a blackened husk waving its own flag of surrender. The whispers waited, patient as corn in the wind, for the next all-American dream to pull in.